What's up, guys? This is Chris from draftdashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Friday, April 7th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 6-game MLB slate tonight. So let's take a look at the pitcher position. I like Patrick Sandoval, and he's pitching against the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, Patrick Sandoval, he's giving up a .737 OPS versus righties, so it's not his strong hand, but the Blue Jays have only hit 2 of his last 21 pitches. That's a .095 batting average. Now, that is a small sample size, but it's a great start, and Patrick Sandoval has averaged 31 fantasy points per game on the season last year. He had an ERA of 2.91, record was 6-9, pitching an average of 91 pitches per game. He's 8,600 FanDuel salary, 100 less on DraftKings. And Patrick Sandoval, he's got a decent matchup here tonight. He scored 40 fantasy points in his last game. So I like Patrick Sandoval here versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. Here's a value play. I like Danny Jansen. Now, he is facing Patrick Sandoval, so if you do play Patrick, you'll probably want to skip this play, as you don't really want to stack your batters versus your pitchers. But he is a good value play if you're not going to be playing Sandoval. So Danny Jansen, he's got a 43% batting advantage over Patrick Sandoval. Danny Jansen is batting a .826 OPS versus lefties. We know Patrick Sandoval pitches his worst ball versus righty batters. Now, Danny Jansen, he's only 2,400 FanDuel salary, 600 more on DraftKings. He averaged 10 fantasy points per game on the season last year. So that's why I wanted to bring him up here. I think he's just super cheap at 2,400 FanDuel salary, only 600 more on DraftKings. I like that price on both sites. So I like Danny Jansen here versus Patrick Sandoval. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Luis Garcia, and he's got a 41% batting advantage over Jose Urena. Luis Garcia batting 23% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .751 OPS versus righties. Jose Urena pitching 18% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .837 OPS versus lefties. Now, there's no at-bats versus Urena yet. Luis Garcia is 3,000 FanDuel salary, 300 more on DraftKings. He averaged 8 fantasy points per game on the season last year, and he's projected at 9.5 fantasy points here tonight. But I like this pick also because it's a good matchup here, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 11 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Luis Garcia here versus Jose Urena. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Yandy Diaz with a 75% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Ken Waldichuk. Yandy Diaz is batting 10% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .892 OPS versus lefties. Ken Waldichuk pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 64% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.024 OPS versus righties. So there's no at-bats versus Waldichuk yet. Yandy Diaz, he's $3,100 FanDuel salary, and he averaged 9 fantasy points per game on the season last year. He scored 12 and 38 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Yandy Diaz here versus Ken Waldichuk. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. So gave you a couple value plays in this video. Now I'm going to give you a couple of studs that I like. I like Xander Bogaerts, and he's got a 25% batting advantage here over a low salary pitcher, Jared Schuster. Xander Bogaerts batting 25% better versus lefty pitchers. No at-bats versus Schuster yet. He's averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. Scored 12, 28, and 6 fantasy points in his last 3 games. He's $3,800 FanDuel salary, $1,600 more on DraftKings, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 9.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Xander Bogaerts here versus Jared Schuster.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, moving on to the outfield position, I like Mookie Betts with a 33% batting advantage over Madison Bumgarner. Mookie Betts batting 15% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .983 OPS versus lefties. Madison Bumgarner throwing 18% worse to righties. Well, he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, 18% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .891 OPS versus righties. And I like this pick because Mookie Betts is 6 for 18. That's a 333 batting average and a 1.122 OPS versus Bumgarner. 2 of those 6 hits are for home runs. He has a double and 3 singles. Mookie Betts averaged 13 fantasy points per game on the season last year, scored 3, 18, and 12 fantasy points in the last 3 games. He's $3,900 FanDuel salary, $2,000 more on DraftKings. So I like Mookie Betts here versus Madison Bumgarner. Now I also like Christian Yelich with a 15% batting advantage over Jack Flaherty. Christian Yelich batting 10% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .757 OPS versus righties. Jack Flaherty, he pitches a little bit worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .751 OPS versus lefties. I like this pick because Christian Yelich is 9 for 29 here versus Flaherty. That's a .310 batting average and a .946 OPS. 2 of those 9 hits are for home runs. And he's $3,200 FanDuel salary, $1,700 more on DraftKings. Averaged 10 fantasy points per game on the season last year. Scored 6, 12, and 12 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Christian Yelich here versus Jack Flaherty.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.